Yo, what's good people, it's Cactus, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make dark vocal UK drill melodies. So the type you'd hear from Tion Wayne, Russ Millions, and pretty much any drill rapper right now. I've got nothing new to announce today, but if you're new to the channel and you want to learn something new every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 PM, then consider subscribing. But let's get straight into it. Alright, so making these dark vocal drill melodies can be really simple, but it all comes down to finding the right vocal to work with in the first place. So personally, I like to use contact banks, and this is one that I've just bought so I can test some of the vocals out. So I've just got the dark one selected. I'll just work in C. Usually if it says C dark, it means it's in C minor. And you'll notice that they're not recorded in every single key, but they're recorded in enough to work with because you can always manually pitch it down. So let's just see what we've got. Yo, this one, this could be it, you know. So look, I'm just gonna go to the piano roll. I've got the BPM set to, let's go to 143. So if I bring the full thing out, so we could even just use that. That vocal's definitely good enough to work with, but I just want to show you a few techniques to get it sounding a bit different. So instead of copying that out, first I'm going to render it, because once you've rendered it, it just makes it a little bit easier to chop and change. So I've got it linked to insert 1. I'm just going to click down here, then Alt and R. I'm just going to render the pattern out and leave the remainder. And I can literally just repeat this for now. Make sure this is set to generic bleeding too. And let's try pitching it up. I think I like it there. Or maybe one more. Yeah, there actually. So we've gone from C up 4. So now we're working in E minor. Usually for Russ Millions and Tion Wayne type of beats, I find that a lot of them are in B minor. So you could stick to that if you wanted to. And have something like this. But the reason I'm pitching it up is because at some point I want to bring it down an octave. See, and I still like the sound of it when it's down an octave. Because look, if I brought it down to B minor, it just gets a bit too deep when it's down an octave. Alright, so I'm going to process it, but I want some variation. So I'm just going to make some chops. Actually, let's chop it a bit more. So I'm thinking something like that. And then we could just repeat that. These loops are usually just like 4 bars repeated. And just by chopping that a little bit, adds that tiny bit of variation. I'm gonna grab an EQ and just filter some out. I'm gonna add some reverb. Quite a bit. I'm also gonna take a compressor and just bring down some of the peaks. Just to flatten it out a bit. Then I'm gonna take an imager. Just make it that bit wider. About there. Now I'm just adding a little bit of a filter. Alright, so you might be thinking this is really basic, but these are what these melodies are about. But I'm going to show you how to make it really darker. So once you've got the vocal where you want it to be, the next step is to add something to sit in the background. So maybe some sustained strings, maybe some kind of pad, and I'll show you a few options. So I'm going to use Strings of Winter for this one, and I want some low strings. So I'm going to either use sustain because the strings are going to carry on, or tremolo. And I'm just going to use the root note. See, like there, that's how you're really going to make it sound dark. So let's even double that up. I'll just put an E there and another one there, and we'll just copy this out a few times. So now it's starting to get there. Okay, now to add a bit more atmosphere, I'm going to add this pad from Vocalize, but I'm going to play this one a little bit further up. So same thing, we're just sticking to that root note. We're not really changing the progression. That's what creates that tension. That's what creates that dark vibe. So yeah, I'm going to use just one note, and I'll see if I can drag this one out. Yeah, there we go. And for mixing that, I'm just going to filter it a bit. I just want the high energy from this. And then I'm also adding Shaper Box just to create a panning effect. I'm also just going to EQ the strings and just take some of the lows out. Alright, and then to fill up some of that bottom end, I'm going to use this power sub preset. Alright, now we're really getting there. And you could even then just leave it at that. Okay, and I'm gonna add one last pad, and this is in Balkan Ethnic Orchestra. It's the Sunrise one. Same thing again, just repeating that root note, but I'm only gonna use this on the second half, the last 4 bars. Alright, so that's really all you need for the melody. I know it's really simple, but that's how these melodies are made. And once you've got drums on there and you start arranging it properly, that's how you can keep it interesting. So I'll show you a few techniques now for when you need to arrange it. So first, what you want to do is take all of the instruments. So I'm just going to hold Control, click and drag. Right click on an empty insert, route to this track only. And then from here, you want some kind of side chain. So I'll use kickstart. So now you've got this. So you can alternate between the normal one and this one. But for now, I'm just going to turn kickstart off. I'm going to go to the vocals and I'm going to render out just the vocals. Reason I'm doing that is because in some sections, I might just want to pitch the whole thing down an octave. But instead of pitching the strings and everything too, I'm just going to pitch the vocal. So now I've got this to work with as well. Okay, so to structure this out, I'm just going to create an automation clip for kickstart. I'm going to copy these over. And let's actually split that. This can be the vocals down an octave. I'll bring this one back up to normal. And then for kickstart, we'll leave it off here. And then it can come on in this section. Then I can even repeat this. So I'll have it like this. And then when it gets to this, kickstart will come in. So you can imagine drums on this already. You could go crazy with the drums. Or just repeat that so we can have kickstart come off here for the verse and then it can come back on. So we're just kind of swapping between kickstart, not kickstart, the vocals down an octave and the vocals up an octave. But that's just one idea for arranging it. I always end up changing my mind when I start adding in the drums. So I'll do that now and just see what vibe we get. Let's go for this chisel snare. But it's going to be a bit simpler. And we'll go for this nasty snare. And then I'm going to layer it with this one. But let's change the ending actually. So I could even leave the counter snares like that as well, but I'm just going to change a few notes or just change the velocity to add more bounce. And then maybe just one roll here. And then for that roll, I'm going to highlight the panning and then just bring it down like this. Okay, and I feel like it needs a little bit of high end, so I'm going to layer the counter snare with this one, but not every single note. But then in this one, I can pan these the opposite way. Alright, for the 808, I just want something loud and distorted, something greasy sounding. So either this one or the Psycho one. Or maybe this Rider one. Let's try this. Let's add a couple slides at the beginning, bring them back actually. Alright, that gives me the starting pattern, but I want to make it a bit more interesting. So maybe here I could have one slide into itself. And then maybe here, something like this. Alright, let's just do some experimenting. Let's chop up one note. And then maybe we could pan these two. Alright, let's add a quick riser at the end of this. Alright, then maybe a couple perks, one like this. And then maybe a couple effects. This one could work. Or this one, or I could just alternate them. And then maybe a shot like this. See if that's got a tone. And yeah, that's really all I need for this beat. I'm not going to keep all of those perks and effects in the same spot. I just wanted enough to work with when I start arranging it. So yeah, I'll just finish mixing it. I'll arrange everything and show you the final outcome. Alright, so I finished mixing and arranging the beat. And this beat actually came out crazy. I added a couple things. I added this grind bass in this section. Changed the 808 in this second bit here. And then I think I took out one of the effects because I didn't feel like it really fit the vibe. But other than that, I just did some stuff with the arrangement to keep it interesting. So I added love filter and it comes on just in this one section, which I'm going to show you. And then yeah, like I showed you with the arrangement of the melody, I just kind of swapped between the low pitch and the high pitch one, and then also alternated between kickstart and no kickstart. So yeah, I'll just play it so you see what I mean. So I decided to start with the vocals up an octave, and then with the sub bass, just changed a few notes here. So yeah, crazy drop. Got the second pad coming in, and then the grind bass. That same effect. And then a different 808 here. So yeah, for the verse, I brought the sub bass back in. Just at the beginning of the verse, just to kind of break things down. And then back to sidechain. So kind of the same format of structure as the hook. Grind bass again. And then for the bridge, I just went back to the intro. Oh yeah, now I added this one delay on the stomp, just in the bridge. And then back to the hook. So I hope you liked the video and I hope you were feeling the beat. And if you want to learn any new styles of melodies, then definitely let me know in the comments, because I'm always working through suggestions. But yo, once again, I appreciate you all for watching and supporting. Much love, and I'll see you next time.